then we have Patience Rabai, business consultant. So someone one day came to me and said, your name Patience Rabai can be a brand. And now I'm actually looking forward to be the next Oprah Winfrey. Is anybody here with me? And then I am Patience Passion, where I just talk to people about, business, faith, and all that. We also have Power Home Securities and First Class Financials Consultants. Now, this is just a bit of the few things that I've done. I used to run a business in Botswana. I was a young 23-year-old who would get into the bank and I didn't need to go in the queue. I would actually, be invited by the bank managers and then I go and do my banking privately out there. And, I was one of the big people there in Botswana, but I was small. And then fast track, eventually my husband gets this idea, he knows that I love money. Everything that motivates me is money. So he comes and sells this idea to say, let's move to Australia. You want to do your masters. Go and study your masters. Apparently in Australia, there's more than what we have here. And we decided, I think it did not even take us a long time. We just sold a few things. They came to Australia. Back then we came with a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. Talk about humble beginnings. And then you come as an international student. There's another thing about Africans as well. It's called ignorance. We just listened to the person who said, come, there are greater opportunities there. And then depression came in when we first came to Australia. I'm looking at the house, I'm wondering, is the floor like this? What's going on? I'm thinking, just last week, I was able to I had an option to say, this morning, I'm going to just go into the swimming pool in the backyard and enjoy life. If we were born with my husband, we'd just say, okay, let's take a drive to Johannesburg, why not? And then you come to Australia, I have to go and work in McDonald's, I would do night shifts, and there were times when I would come from a day shift as a receptionist, and then I'll be in a corner somewhere at McDonald's, trying to snooze a bit, and on the other hand, I'm trying to study for my master's in financial analysis. I have a 3-year-old, I have a 2-year-old, I have a husband who came here telling me I have a job, only for him to tell me that he's dropping an IT management position to come and become a dishwasher here. So that's the thing about us Africans. Sometimes we are very ignorant. Now, as women, we actually have that ignorance to another level. We ensure that we listen to each other's small advice that is actually going to create havoc instead of building us together. Now, let's go into why African women start businesses. Now, women start companies to better balance their work and family lives. That is the thing that motivates us. We want to be able to do something with our families. We want more time with our children because we are missing out on a lot. We have all these things that are going on to follow our passion. How many women here can braid? How many women can clean? How many women can cook? We have all these diverse skills. But now, the nice thing about Australia is anything that you do, you can make money out of it. So if we were to get into business and say, okay, Katinda and I were cleaners, and then we say, because we are both cleaners, rather than doing it individually, let's collaborate. I mean, if we are able to make $800 from one house doing an end of lease clean, why don't we just do it together, $400 each? Are we able to figure out our passion? Because women are very passionate beings. Let's stop taking the passion to other places. Let's bring it in to ensure that it also brings that income. I had fear to get into business here in Australia, but it was the right motivation for me. That job that I lost was the right motivation for me to get into business. So we are able to advance more quickly when we are in business. I can be able to become a business services manager. I can be the CEO of my own company. I can be I have the options to choose the title that I want for myself. We build each other up. Eventually, because, 2 minds are there, 3 minds are there, we are able now to grow to another level. Now, I want to talk about what we need to do as women as I'm rounding up, to say the skills that, we already have the skills, but what we need to do is to put ourselves to have direction, passion, perseverance, confidence. Now, confidence is a big one. For some reason, as Africans, we have this thing that we have to be too humble. We have this thing that, I cannot walk into a room full of white people and claim my confidence and just, go and greet everybody. Hi, my name is Patience. So we need to be able to rise up as African women and say, we are taking charge of this.
All right. Super women, right? Okay. So coming on stage next is our next speaker, Sisto Tafunai. Sisto arrived in Australia with nothing. Fast forward 12 years after walking on the land down under, Sisto is now an authorized estate agent, licensee, and senior consultant in property investments and first home buyer advisory for Polynest Property Solutions. He is a fully qualified mortgage broker.
It is such an honor and privilege for me to stand up here and in front of an audience, a room full of emerging, aspiring, and established entrepreneurs. I'd like to thank our brother Clyde and also the committee who have come up with the initiative to organize this event today, which I believe is going to create a lot of positive impact to our community, to our people, and also for future success. There's a saying that knowledge is power. But I also believe that there's a better saying that applying knowledge is power. King Solomon wrote this in his quote in the book of Proverbs. He said, knowledge is supreme, therefore get knowledge. Though it costs all you have, get understanding. Esteem her, and she will exalt you. And praise her, and she will honor you. Knowledge is something that we must obtain. It may cost us sometimes, but as we reward ourselves with investing in ourselves, the decisions that we make will be a lot more wiser, and we will avoid mistakes, costly mistake. So jambo everyone, talofa, kia ora, kia orana, good day. My name is Sister Tafunai. There you go on the screen. I'm a father of 2 beautiful young children, happily married to a Maltese lady. She's from the island is located in the Mediterranean Sea, just north of Africa. There is a belief that the first human or the origin of human race is from our country of Africa. We heard this morning. And I believe that's the reason why my father embarked on a journey to see how far human race have traveled. So he bought a plane that flew him from Kenya to the Pacific Islands, where he found this little nation called Samoa. But there was more that I've learned from these meetings. I learned about networking. I learned that many hands make light work. I learned that coming together is beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Teamwork divides the task and it multiplies the success. I learned about the language of business and how to collaborate ideas for future success. I learned that it takes a village to raise a child. We all need each other. You need me, I need you in this journey called life. So today's event, it really taken me back to memory lane of those days. But I know that there was a little activity that the elders of the village will often do just to make sure that everyone is present in the room. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about Samoan this morning. I'm going to say something in Samoan. So when I say mili, mili, mili means rub your hands. So let's all rub our hands this morning. Now keep rubbing, keep rubbing. And when I say patia means clap once. And that clap needs to be unified. It needs to be unified, it needs to be unison. If there's one that is out of rhythm, we got to keep clapping until we are all in harmony. So are you ready? Yes. Milli, 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 milli. Are you ready over there? At the back there? Patia! That was a good one. Well, we don't have to do it again. Well, that is a sign that everyone is present in the room this morning. Now, in business, there's only one language: how to create success or how to make profit. Success does not discriminate where you're born, your upbringing, your ethnicity, or the color of your skin, just like the many testimonies that we've heard this morning. If there's one thing that united business people in a room like this, is to give an answer to the question, how can we create success together? You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. You take care of my business, I'll take care of your business. And that's why network is very important. That people that you surrounded yourself with, the people that you connected to, that they must bring positive impact into your life and also to your business if you want success. There's a quote by Dan Benners. He said that, show me your friends and I will show you your future. But understand this, success in business is also translated as running a profitable business operation. It's a byproduct of hard work and commitment. It's a byproduct of focus and perseverance. It is a byproduct of sowing seeds in good season and not so good seasons, even in seasons of adversity. While everyone else is throwing the towel, but you're still grinding through, knowing that one day you will have your breakthrough. Now, Batia. Awesome. Now look at yourself. Look at your hands this morning. Look at your hands. Now for every emerging, aspiring entrepreneurs in the room, I want you to take a close look at those hands and notice something. That these hands hold the key for your successful future. These hands hold the keys to create a better version of yourself. These hands hold the key to bring your dreams into reality. These hands hold the key on how to make money work for yourself rather than you working for the money. There is a predicament that Australian population is going to grow by 22% in the next 20 years. So which is an indication to us that there is so much opportunities to create wealth in real estate. And if you want to know more about that, please come find me, take my business card, and I will talk to you later. Thank you very much.
I'm going to start quickly with a simple question. What brought you here this morning, gentlemen? My car. Hello. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Osman, and all protocols observed, and just to re-echo the appreciation to Clyde and the team for putting this together, because somebody's got to set the tone for whatever we choose to become in the future as Africans. So, and to see that happening with a gathering of this sort, I think it's commendable. So, can't appreciate you enough for this. Now, like you said as well, I hope you just be the beginning of many more of this to come. So, what brought me here? I think it's just the passion and the love to see our community grow, and the love to see us impact one another and learn and glean from each other's successes and sharing our struggles and see how we can be better together. Thank you.
I'm here to learn, to be more aware, and I care, and I'm here to share. Thank you.
Two primary reasons for me. Number one is I strongly believe in the power of networks. You need to know people. People only do business with you if they know you, trust you, and like you. And there is nothing better than connecting with people in person. There is that power that you cannot replicate over Zoom or Teams. So that's number one. The second reason that's important is I am here to support what Clyde and team are doing. Like I said, I move around, I speak at conferences, and I hear a lot in our African community that Africans don't support each other. There is an element of truth, but the best form of leadership is by example. So by showing up when someone is trying to build something like this and supporting their work, I think that's the Ubuntu we're trying to build.
I'm glad to put that through. I'm glad Phil just mentioned something I need to read out to you. Thanks to Google. I didn't know about this fact before we get into the conversation here.
I went looking, when I was preparing for this discussion, to what exactly Africans represent in Australia. And the answer was quickly given to me by Google that by 1911, not be 1911, when the Australian census first recorded South Africans, there were 754 of our ancestors were living in Victoria, just in Victoria, 754. Then the community increased in size until 1921, when 1,672 people were recorded. So look at the gap. What does it show? It shows that this continent is far from our motherland. 754 to 1,600 or above. Then the last census we had in 2021, which shows that at least 414,378. Let's give ourselves 500,000, right? Give, produce, consume in this land. That's 1.6 of Australians have identity in Africa. Now, why do we put this fact to us? Have we grown enough?
I'm into human potential. So I look broadly on what I can do to support and help people. And I'm a corporate dropout. And I worked in corporations for years. Out of frustration, I dropped out of corporations to go through soul searching to answer the question of even why I'm here. And this goes back from in my childhood. I've always tried to answer this question. And little did I knew, it was the word purpose. So, and because I worked on introspection to understand who I am from the inside out, because all my life I've been kind of like influenced by external noises. So from learning from that, I was able to create content which I can share with other people to go through the journey and to support people. And so that is probably not an industry to other people, but I believe it is. I work at corporations, I was put in boxes, and I don't fit in any of those boxes. So I wanted to find out. And I'm not a teacher, but I'm a reminder. And I'm not here to teach birds to fly, but to remind the chicken, they have wings, but they don't fly. And the chicken's ancestors used to fly. So my question was, why don't the chicken fly? And they complain, because they always end up on people's dinner tables.
Thank you for the wonderful training.
I was arguing with friends yesterday on a WhatsApp group because they were saying us Africans are disadvantaged because we come here and we are overqualified. We've got all these deep technical skills, but we are overlooked because people play politics. But then I countered and I said, those are the rules of the game. We are not in Africa anymore. And for me, I gave up on Australia because I was trying to play the African game on a different, in a different space. So for me, that is very, very important to understand that there is a technical ceiling or an academic ceiling. I'm not by any means downplaying the power of books. It's very important to lay the foundations. But for you to accelerate into that, that's why for me now, I am very strong on personal branding. I celebrate, if you connect with me on LinkedIn, I celebrate my successes. I shine, I cast spotlight on the work that I'm doing because that is how I build the credibility. Half of my time I work as a consultant. So this is very important because as a first generation African Australian, it's very difficult to leave your 9-to-5 job and go and, we've got black techs, we've got kids or family. So for me, it was very important to be very intentional about it. So what I do is 40% of my time I consult. So I work as a virtual chief information security officer for 3 clients. So 40% of my time I get paid more than I would otherwise be in a full-time role, 9 to 5. So I spend 60% of that time building the Cyber Leadership Institute. So for me, it's very important for you to develop that self-awareness, to understand the rules of the game. You need to sharpen your business communication skills. You need to develop your networks. You need to connect deeply with people. You need to have business partners. As she started, she said, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go further, you need a team. So building a team of people who have got deep networks in here helps me a lot. So hopefully that helps, but that's my experience.